Hello and welcome. Rahul, you're watching me on my YouTube channel Ragma Talks, and if you're watching me consistently, welcome back to my channel. See, whenever I come in front of you, I have a purpose. I want to instill positivity and I want to disseminate some valuable knowledge, because I feel that even in 21st century, India as a developing country, most of the population of India is still living in darkness. They don't have any kind of rational thought. They are being driven on such kind of dogma and dogmatic principles that are very bizarre to think about. In 21st century, if they do not have what they should think, what they should look into, that means they should be given and should be guided in such a way that they could have such possibility of better understanding. Because I know exactly that most of the people don't even understand exactly the natural unfolding and the demand of those rules and regulations and living standards that are justified by ethics. Some of the people, they have such intelligent quotient, intellectual quotient, that they will be able to think clearly. They have clarity. They will be able to think clearly what should happen and what should not. Most of the time, their feelings are such vivid, that they become agitated. Sometimes they cannot bear. They have so intense thoughts and understanding that they even do not suppress their anger on understanding exactly why the peoples are doing wrong around. But I'm just telling you, by being more and more aggressive, you cannot solve any problem. Rather than, you should have patience, you should have sympathy, and you should have compassion. Then only you can percolate your thoughts, percolate your feelings around the world. Some days before, I have written a ghazal. If you'll scroll down my page, you will find that a little ghazal was written there. There I have discussed about how the intimate relationship are being treated in India. And after some days, just 5 or 6 days, Supreme Court has told that if in adulthood some adults are having consent and they are going in a relationship, then police should not interfere in their business, whatever they are doing. I thought that this would have come very earlier in India. Otherwise, all these and on that very judgment, many people, even literate enough, I will call them literate only, they have literacy, but they are not enough intellectual, or I will say that literally they are not intellectual, or they are not literate. They were commenting, using their Sanatan Dharma or some kind of comment, it is wrong and that should happen, this should happen. They were commenting wrong. All these people, they do not have any ethics. They do not understand exactly what is natural flow and how it should be guided. That there should not be suppression in society and there should not be any wrongdoing. These are the wrong principles. If adults have consent and someone else is going to violate them or arrest them, this is totally illegal, and this should have been corrected very earlier. But nowadays, I will thank those judges, who have given this kind of insights, who have this kind of judgment, who have given, because it is responsibility of the intellectual ones to guide all these illiterates. If these illiterates will guide you, that means the fate of the country is going down. That is why a particular intellectual people, a few people are guiding this country in a better way. That would be better. If all the peoples are illiterate 90%, then I would say that the 10% who are illiterate, who have good understanding, and if they are in power, they should certainly use that kind of delegation, that kind of power, in order to guide all these 90% idiots. That is what is the reality of today. See, the more you suppress the society will suffer. And why we are adapting all the societal norms and rules and regulations of Western world. If you look, we are 25 to 30 years behind than that of all the rituals and all the happenings and related instances of their society, of their living norms. That is what we are adapting today. But after 30 years, all these years we are suppressing our thoughts and beliefs, and we are still, because the globalization had happened, technology has come, we are looking in their philosophies, in their happenings, in their affairs very soon, because we have digital arena. We are looking into their films, we are looking into their actual life. Most of the people are coming online, and that is what we are witnessing that. So today is the time when the barrier is very thin, and if you are not understanding today why they are more and more affluent, why they are more and more prosperous, why they are more and more developing and developed country, then this is the fault of the system or the thinking process, the collective mindset of this country has been suppressed enough that they have not been able to flourish themselves. They have not any kind of cognitive or scientific mentality. They don't have rational thoughts, and that is why we are going down. So it is the responsibility of the few one to guide them in proper direction. That is what has happened. The Supreme Court judges have given very good insight, and that should happen very earlier. Though you would be thinking that what I'm discussing, but it is the very root cause of every evil happening and unfolding in the country. Such kind of power resides there in intimacy, in relationship. That is what you have to understand. Leave it all together. If you have mindset, if you have good mindset, you will certainly be able to find that insights in your life. Otherwise, you are just hanging with such kind of termites that they will bite you and they will eat you up. If you will not guide yourself, and if you will not, find insights with the good people, because it is important and it is essential nowadays that we thrive. And we have to understand, if the government is not working for you, you have to replace that by government. You cannot carry your dogma, you cannot carry your, illiterate thought process, your religion into the future of this country. No. We have to understand exactly which government is working for us and what kind of strategy they are adopting, what are their mentality, what are their mindset, and what they are executing is favoring nation or not. If you are creating problems for each and every section of the people, that means they are certainly having wrong principles. That is what you have to understand. You have to criticize them. If you criticize them, then they will guide themselves up. And if you applaud and give reverence to them, they are not going to guide themselves up. That is what happened in the case of Hitler. That is what you have to understand. And all the perils that is being imposed upon you, you will suffer. Your next generation will suffer because of you. Every upbringing that happens, the progenitor of the upcoming generation gets the curse of your own doing. That is what happens to your sons and your children. Your karma defines their fate. That is what happens. If you don't understand exactly the result, go in your organization and watch 5 or 10 people and watch their history. If they are not good and finding better positions, they are not apt and they are finding better positions, that means in their genealogy, or in their family, someone has done better deeds, and that is why they are availing that kind of position. Otherwise, they are not that kind of standards that they can survive in that very job, but they are still finding that kind of class. It's all happening because there is a karma, and that is what is being counted in this world. You have to understand exactly the natural unfoldings as well. Maybe science has decoded all these things, and many of the shrewd people have decoded these science philosophies, and they're applying that technique to control. But somewhere, the design has superset, and it has many ways still remaining which humans have not figured out, and that is why all the unfoldings will eat you up if you will not guard yourself with right moral virtues and philosophies. Still, they have not decoded, or humanity has not decoded all the equations of the universe, that they can reverse exactly every unfolding of the universe. No, still it has some virtues. The universe has left some virtues, and that is why we are still standing. The world is developing and better rules and regulations are coming. Because of that, some people are carrying that weight. If in a spiritual world you will dive, you will see that when awakened people carry very weight that you cannot even perceive. To carry that intense weight, you need to have very aware mindset and very apt personality who can bear that pain, who can bear that weight, along with their work. What is they doing? Every day they are doing their work, they are looking after their family, they are doing their job. But along with that, the awareness that they hold, they are holding immense spiritual weight, and that is why everything is unfolding in beautiful. And now you will connect this to all those bastards, babas and ritual people. It is not true. Very few people are having right, rational and cognitive attitude. If someone is going and living the mainstream of life and becoming baba, most of them are corrupt. You won't even understand. Very few people are remaining who have right understandings. They are having very narrow set. They are illiterate. They don't have any scientific knowledge. And if they get something they witness some kind of magic, then everything ends. They will only vouch for that magic, and they will make you, dramatic, and they will make you superstitious, and the whole society will collapse. That is why science needs to be powerful. Because science had methodology. That is what is defined and tested in lab. That is what will give you the right way, the right directions. You won't have to go down to those principles because you have adopted that, you have searched that. Otherwise, go to Baba and bow down to them. The first principle is that you bow down to them. Why will you bow down? I will say you don't even bow down in front of God. God doesn't want you to comply as a religious people. He doesn't want you to be any kind of submissive person. No. He wants you to be rebellion. He wants you to carry that weight on your own, the spiritual weight. He wants you to have moral virtues that you can only justify by yourself. You can guide the whole world along with your own self. That is what he wants. He never asked that you comply and be submissive to him. All these things are dogmatic and binding and very low thinking mindsets are going and bow down and doing all these wrong things and rituals in front of God. No, he doesn't want that. Actual God doesn't want any kind of rituals. Even the rituals that you are doing are benefiting a certain sector, a different kind of entities who always interferes in our affairs. That is what we have witnessing. And we have witnessed and we are witnessing. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So I'm not in favor of that kind of religious thinking. I'm in favor of understanding. I'm in favor of awareness. I'm in favor of science. I'm in favor of right methodologies and having clarity to have your own virtues guided enough that it can illuminate others. Yeah, there could be powers, but even God above, but He is not even almighty. He is dependent on you. When you will open your eyes? I'm telling you 100% He is dependent on you. When will you open your eyes? That is what I'm trying to tell you. Thank you for listening to me.